Good afternoon, and I am the final speaker, right? Good. They gave me 2 to 3 hours to dazzle you before things are over with. Look, let me just, Arnold, thank you very much for a very gracious introduction. Here, Dave is not feeling up to par, so please give him my regards. And then, of course, I had the pleasure of going to Israel this year with Ben and Diana. Had a wonderful, wonderful time in Israel. And let me tell you, they think highly of Noble. They are very appreciative of you all assisting on the offshore natural gas development, which is really transforming the state of Israel. So let me thank you all. And then let me thank Noble for just being an outstanding community partner, for the contribution for Hurricane Harvey. Thank you so very much to the local relief fund. And then you've contributed also to the Red Cross, so thank you on that. And then you all were a key supporter and sponsor for the Consular Corps, Consular Ball, and so thank you on that as well. Let me just, I am a native Houstonian, love the city, born and reared on the north side. I am fortunate I still live in the community in which I was born and reared. And so I'm very proud of that. You know, when you come out of a family of 9, and I'm number 6, and neither one of my folks graduated from high school, and my dad died early when I was 13. My mom was a maid at the old Rice Hotel. And I don't say that about them in a disparaging sense, because I think they did a heck of a job in rearing all 9 of their kids, especially my mom, who was the maid who never learned how to drive, but she commanded and ran the Turner household. So she has been the CEO of the Turner household, and I give her all of the credit for me standing before you today. This city has changed quite a bit over the last 25 years. We're more diverse. In fact, we are the most diverse city in the United States. We are more diverse than New York, LA, San Francisco, Chicago. How many people here are from outside the city of Houston? Just outside? Oh, well, let me talk a little bit longer. You know, there are a lot of you from outside, but let me just say, we are the most diverse. You know, New York, they think they are, but they're not. Same thing for LA, San Francisco, Chicago. We are the most diverse. There are probably 142 different languages now spoken in the city, 92 consonants, and that number is growing. 1 of 4 Houstonians is foreign born. And the good news for the city of Houston is that people are not leaving the city of Houston, people are coming to. So when you listen to the demographers, people are coming from the east, the west, the north, coming down south. And over the next 12 to 15 years, we're expecting 3 million more people to move into the Houston region. We are now number 4 in size. We'll soon be number 3. We will bypass Chicago. And then the good news about the World Series and leading to the World Series, you had the top 4 cities playing in those final rounds: New York, LA, Chicago, and the city of Houston. And New York, of course, is the largest, followed by LA, Chicago, and the city of Houston. But in the end, 4 became number 1. And so I'm very proud of the Houston Astros. And we're changing in so many other ways as well. I mean, we're still the world energy capital of the world. I want to thank Noble for your contributions to this city on so many different fronts. The World Petroleum Congress will be coming back to the city of Houston after being out of the United States for some 30+ years. For the first time in 30+ years, they'll be coming back to us in 2020. Very proud of that. The medical center is still the largest in the world. The Children's Hospital, the largest in the world. The Houston Port is still number 1 in the country in foreign tonnage. And now we're seeking to play in a different space. We have not been at the forefront when it comes to startups, technology and innovation. That's not to say that those things are not taking place in different silos, because in the energy sector, in the medical sector, those things are taking place. But we haven't played in a very integrated, robust sort of fashion. And therefore, when you look at the Kaufman Foundation report, we're kind of like outside of 20. And one of the reasons why we went to Israel is because they are number 1 in terms of startups per capita. City of Houston is not anywhere on that list. But we have what most countries, most cities across the globe do not have. being number one, being the energy capital, being the largest medical center, the port, all of those things. We have all of the ingredients, the diversity, the talent. We have all of those elements. We just haven't played well in a very integrated way. And so we've decided to do that. We decided to work to develop that ecosystem. And I'm very, very excited about that because that's the future for the city of Houston. We always will be known for energy. That's who we are. But at the same time, we have become much more diverse. For those who were around in the 1980s when oil prices went down, things kind of came to a halt. This time, that has not been the case. And that's because we are much more diversified, and we will continue to move in that space. When I came to the city of Houston as mayor, I said I did not want to be an incrementalist, where you do a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here, and no one sees the little bit that you have done. You know, I'm not interested in that. What I said is that for the period for which I am mayor, I want it to be transformational. And then I come and I look up transformational leadership, ethics, and inclusion. Well, let me just say to you, that's where we are now as we move forward. Being an incrementalist just won't get it done. And you cannot compete in the global marketplace, even as a city, being an incrementalist. You have to be transformational. That's what people want, that's what they expect, and that's what we're pushing forward. Just like when I came in, one of the issues I heard on the campaign trail, potholes, 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 potholes. People talk more about potholes than anything else when I was running. Mayor, potholes, every place I go, you've been the pothole. And then I announced when I was sworn in on January the 4th, I made this huge announcement. I didn't think it was huge, I just said by the next business day, we will assess and repair the potholes. You call it in or email, we will assess and repair it by the next business day. Hell, everybody started clapping. I didn't think it was a big deal myself. But I added one phrase, because before I became mayor, I asked the director of public works, can you all repair these potholes, fill these potholes by the next business day? This was before I was sworn in. And he told me, he said, Mayor, we can do it. I said, you can, if somebody email or call, you all can go out there and fill it by the next business. Mayor, we can do that. So I wrote that in my speech. But when I got up to give it on January the 4th, the good Lord told me, don't say that. And so I said, 2 weeks from today, we will assess and fill the potholes by the next business day. So the next day when I came in as mayor after being sworn in, the public works director came to me and said, Mayor, you changed that line. You said 2 weeks from today. Why didn't you say today? I said, well, when you told me that we could fill, repair, and fill by the next business day, I wasn't the mayor then. I said, now I'm the mayor. Tell it to me one more time. And I said, and now tell me how you're going to do it. And he gave me an explanation. And I said, look, I'm not an engineer, but based on what you're telling me, you can't do it. Because there are 3 departments that you're having to interface with. You're telling me what you can do, but before it can get to you, it has to get to you first. And what you're saying, common sense tells me you can't get it done. Can't happen. So you got 2 weeks to get it done. And so what I told them, all of the departments that have something to do with it, I want you all in the conference room, and I want you to design for me a seamless system that works. Everybody in the conference room, and you're not going to leave until you come up with something. True, it's a true story. Except at the end of the day, you go home, but you come back. But give me a seamless system that works. And 2 weeks later, departments came up with an integrated system where they were talking with each other in real time. And I will tell you, since we started the program in January of 2016 to date, 96% of the time, we will get to that pothole and address it and fill it by the next business day. And it does work. But it required the city to do some things that they had not done before. Basically talking to one another and working in an integrated fashion and ending the silos. I hate silos, okay? So we had to end the silos. And so it has worked. Another major problem when I came in, heard a lot about pensions. And we have been plagued with pensions for 17 years, okay? And the unfunded liability for the city had gotten to $8.2 billion, growing, costing the city $1 million a day, and we had never even been close to coming up with a pension problem. And I said, okay, we're not gonna kick that one down the can either. So when I came in January, I asked all employee groups, police, fire, municipal workers, come and sit around the conference table with me. And to be honest with you, they had never done that before either, okay? All at the same time. And I asked, okay, the system, can we agree the system is unsustainable? Police, yes, Mayor. Fire, yes. Municipal work, yes. And can we at least agree we need to change it? Yes. And I said, thank you, that's it. The meeting is over. They said, that's all? We only been here 10 minutes. I said, that's all. We'll meet again. So a true story. So a few weeks later, I called them back again. We all agree, system is unsustainable, we need to change it, yes. We got two systems, defined benefit, defined contribution. How y'all feel about a defined contribution? Police, hell no. Fire, hell no. Municipal, hell no. So I wrote on the board, defined contribution, and I put an X by it. We won't do it. That means we only left with one thing, defined benefit. Which means in order to fix it, this is where I need us to be. In order to fix it, you're gonna have to make some tough changes in your design. You still wanna do it? We'll do it, Mayor. Okay, thanks. That's it for today. Third meeting was, okay, how deep are the cuts going to be? And I'm not gonna make any cuts in your own plans. I want you to make the cuts yourself. This is just where I need you to be. But I'm gonna let you do the cuts, make the changes. Police, fire, you do the changes, municipals. But I just need you to be here. That's when it got rough. And that's when it took the next 8 months to get to the bottom line. And in the end, I was able to hold on to two, police and the municipals. I couldn't hold on to fire because it required some steep changes. But ended up taking those two, went to city council, 16-1 voted in favor of the changes, went to the legislature. But what I said, instead of coming up with 3 different bills to address the changes, I'm putting all 3 in one. And even though I couldn't reach an agreement with fire, the changes still needed to take place. I just couldn't get them to the table. But all 3 had to be together. And so the legislature, for the first time in its history, voted 2/3 in favor of the changes, okay? The governor signed it, and on Tuesday night, the people in the city of Houston voted 3-1 in favor. It wasn't incremental changes. It is a permanent fix, okay? Tough calls. Friends that I've had in all of the different groups for I've been in public service for 28 years. I've been a good friend with all 3. But it did kind of rub some of my friendships because you just can't say yes to everybody. Not when you're trying to make transformational changes. But I only ask one question: what's in the best interest of the city? Doesn't necessarily mean it will be in your individual interest, but what's in the best interest of the city. And even though we may not agree 100% of the time or always, in the end, if it's in the best interest of the city, it's in your best interest as well. And so for the first time in 17 years, the city of Houston, unlike most major urban cities, now has a pension fix, and the credit rating agencies, all 3, are giving us thumbs up, and we're moving down the road on some other things. The last thing what I would say when it comes to ethics, I've done well in the legislature when Democrats were in charge. I've done even better when Republicans were in charge of the legislature. And I'm a Democrat on top of that. In the Legislature Appropriations Committee, chosen vice chair of the Appropriations Committee, Speaker pro tem by a Republican speaker, and a conservative at that. But what we've said from the very beginning, Although our politics may not always agree, there are certain things that my mom and dad really practice and preach. Their yes was a yes, and their no was a no. Okay? And if they said it, as my dad would say, if I give you my word, you can take it to the bank, and my word is good. And I subscribe by that today. My yes is a yes, my no is a no. We may not always agree, but you'll always know where I am. And as long as we treat each other like that, we're good. But if I discover that your yes is not a yes, and your no is not a no, and your word is no good, then we will not get there. And that's just the way I am, okay? And I think that goes a long way even in 2017. So I'm excited about where the city is. I'm excited about where we are going. This is a city of hope and optimism and inspiration. I saw that with Hurricane Harvey when 51 inches of rain fell on the city, 27 trillion gallons on the city, and I witnessed the city of Houston at its very best. People came together like never before. What Hurricane Harvey did do is that it eliminated divisions. No one asked about politics. No one asked about what your religious beliefs were. Nobody asked about your language. When people saw each other in need, they came together. And I saw the Astros playing some phenomenal ball, playing the first Saturday after the storm against the New York Mets. A doubleheader, they won. I knew then something was just destined down the road. And then to get past Boston, and having gone to school up in Cambridge, hell, I was so happy when they got by Boston, they could have stopped right there. And then to get past the New York Yankees, those arrogant son of a guns. I hope they're not in New York. Any new people from New York here? Let me see a show of hand. Don't, act like we're in church. You from New York? You can raise your hand. You from New York? Oh, he started to raise his hand. That's all right. But to get past the Yankees and to do it in that 7th game, and to come back and have to win the last 2, that was incredible. And then to go against the LA Dodgers and to start off playing in LA and to split the 2 and then have to win the last 2 in LA in a 7th game. And bear in mind, 50 inches of rain fell on the city of Houston, and in the last game, we won 5-1. I am someone who also believes in destiny. And quite frankly, when you put forth your best, I think you'll always end up being a winner. And then lastly, I subscribe by the theory, never sacrifice the good, seeking the perfect, and end up with nothing. So we may not always get to be the perfect, we'll strive for it. But when you run into a lot of good, don't sacrifice the good, seeking the perfect, and end up with nothing. And a lot of people do that every single day in their lives, and they end up literally with nothing. So thank you again. Thank you, Noble. Thank you, Arnold. Thank you, Ben, Dan, and the rest of you for having me. And thank you all for being all over the world. But when you're looking for a place to live, let Houston be your home. Thank you.